today I want to talk about, in an initial disclosure and moving forward, how much should be shared. For example, when a husband opens up and exposes to his wife that he just committed adultery or he's had a lifelong porn addiction, how much detail should be given? This is a question that comes up often. And the way you want to think about this is a picture that you're painting. So you want to ask yourselves how much detail is really needed, how much detail is healthy, because black and white picture in this context is really enough. You don't really want a color picture that you can use to torment yourself. So let me give you some examples. So husband goes to a wife, says, I've been binging on porn for the first 10 years of our marriage. It's been once a month, twice a month, 3 times a week, whatever it's been. My binges look like maybe an hour at a time, maybe 2 hours at a time. You don't need to start going into website links, details of who the porn company is. You don't need to go into details of what the people are doing or what they look like. Basically, you just want to get enough of a picture so you have a clear idea of what he's done. He was having an affair. I had an affair with this girl for 2 years or 3 years or whatever it was. We met once, twice a month. You can fill in a little bit more of that detail, but sometimes what some women do is they'll want to know everything. And you do have the right to ask that. You can ask as many questions as you want. The question you have to ask yourself is, what is healthy and what do you need? Because again, going back to the idea of a picture, the more vivid the picture, the more color, the more you can use to torment yourself with. So moving forward, when you're having accountability time, so I recommend that couples in the very beginning, when they're just rebuilding their marriage, that they'll have to rebuild trust, that they'll have 1 day a week where they can sit down and the wife can ask the husband anything. How'd you deal with lust? How'd you deal with porn or masturbation? Hopefully, if there is an affair, that everything's been cut off. So all contact with the person you had the affair with should have been ceased, and that shouldn't even be in that ballpark. So mainly the accountability time would be for how you're doing with lust, masturbation, those type of things. And he can say, I had some struggles with my thoughts, but I prayed through them and I worked through them. He doesn't need to go into this whole thing about, well, the first day I was having this thought about this person, that thought about that person, that thought about pornography. You're going to drive each other nuts trying to figure out every little detail. And some guys, what they do is they're so overcome with guilt and shame that they think they have to give their wife every single detail to rebuild trust. And no, the balance here is you just got to give her enough so she gets the general picture of where you are, and then you move forward. Because you're going to drive both of yourselves nuts. And really what a part of that is the enemy uses fear. And the way he does that is he goes to the husband and says, if you do not tell her every single little thing that you're going through, then you're lying to her. And that's what an accountability partner is for, so that if I'm having a tough day, I can get Joe on the phone and say, hey Joe, my thoughts are really hammering me today, can you pray for me? And then Joe prays for you, and then you move forward. And then, so you do not want to keep everything contained in the marriage that you're going through. You want to give the marriage some space and time to breathe and heal. And that's the balance too with how much to tell is, when the wife has another woman she can talk to and the man has another guy he can talk to, it takes some pressure off the marriage that you don't have to put all of their healing and expectations in the relationship. So that's what it should look like. Thanks.